and welcome to the class. The first thing you need to do is you need to go to aplusstudents.com. You need to go to the website. Once you're on the website, you need to select math as your subject. This is a grade 5 lesson. Okay. Name of the topic is multiplication. I'll give you the lesson number and chapter number, and the lesson number is 11. Chapter 11, lesson number 18. Chapter number 11, lesson number 18. And the name of the lesson is multiply two-digit number by two-digit numbers. Okay, when we are multiplying two-digit numbers with a two-digit number. Hi, Semi, welcome to the class. Let's go to grade 5, maths, grade 5, chapter number 11, and lesson number 18. Multiply two-digit number. So let's look at the first question. In the first question, what they're telling us is we need to multiply these two together. Let's see how we can. Thank you, Sammy. Okay, in this case, if we need to multiply these two numbers together, okay, what we need to remember is that this is the ones and this would be tens. Agreed? 6 and 1 is tens, whereas 3 and 1 is ones. So whenever we are multiplying these digits together, what we need to do is we need to multiply the ones with the ones first. See, we have two numbers, one at the top, one at the bottom. So if this 11, 1 multiplied by 3 would be 3. 1 multiplied by 6 is 6. Agreed? Now, what we need to do is we need to multiply the tens. Since we are multiplying by a tens, we need to write in the position of tens, whereas a 0 comes in the position of ones because we are multiplying by tens. 1 multiplied by 3 is 3. 1 multiplied by 6 is 6. So once we are done with multiplication, you add them together. 3 plus 0 is 3. 6 plus 3 is 9. And 6 comes as it is. Great. So we can say when we multiply 63 multiplied by 11, it comes out to be 693. Let's check if the answer would be same if we change the order of multiplication. If we would say in question number 2, we would multiply 11 is multiplied by 63. If we change the order, the answer should be same, right? Yes, thank you, Semi. 693. For the same question, we are changing the order. Now what we know is this was ones and this was tens. The first ones is multiplied with everything. 3 multiplied by 1 was 3. Now what we need to do is we need to multiply the tens with both the digits. So since we are multiplying by the tens, we put a 0. 6 multiplied by 1 was 6. 6 multiplied by 1 was 6. So when we add these numbers together, right, 3 plus 0 is 3. 3 plus 6 is 9. And 6 comes out. So here what we can see is the order of multiplication does not matter. We multiply two numbers together, right? 63 multiplied by 11 would always be equal to 11 multiplied by 63, right? Let's have a look at another question. So the next question says multiply 88 multiplied by 10, right? So we already know the rule for multiplying numbers ending with a 0, right? We can directly do this because we know the rule. 88 multiplied by 10 should be, see, I'll tell you the rule directly. Question number 3. Whenever a number is multiplied by a number ending to 0, we simply multiply these numbers together. 81 multiplied by 1 is 88. And how many zeros were there? There was a single 0. So we can say the answer comes out to be 880. Yes, thank you, Semi. But when we do the multiplication, long multiplication, right? So can we write 88 is multiplied by 10 comes under 10, 10s come under 10s and 1s comes under 1s, okay? This was a 1s, this was a 10s. So we can say that the first ones, 0 multiplied by 8 is 0. 0 multiplied by 8 is 0. Let's look at the 10s. Since we are multiplying by the 10s, we put a 0. 1 multiplied by 8 is 8. 1 multiplied by 8 was 8. When we add them together, we still get the same answer. Okay, so multiplying by a number ending with a 0, this is much more convenient, right? We would do this method. We don't have to do the long multiplication. Okay, thank you. Okay, moving ahead. The next question says multiply, just a moment please. Okay, question number 4. It says multiply 22 is multiplied by 40. Okay, and we need to find the answer for this. We know that there is, both the digits are 2-digit numbers, right? Question number 4. So we know that these were the ones and these were the tens. So when the ones is multiplied by both the numbers at the top, 0 multiplied by 2 is 0. 0 multiplied by 2 is 0. But when we do the tens, that was a 4. We have to put a 0. 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. 4 multiplied by 2 is also 8. When we add them, 0, 8, and 80. Right? Another way of doing this would be 22 multiplied by 40. How many zeros are there? 1 0. Agreed? There is 1 0. And if we multiply 22 multiplied by 4, we can say 22 multiplied by 4 would, 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 is an 8. That means 88. And since there was 1 0, we simply put 1 0. And we can still find the answer because it had one number that was ending with a 0. Right? Okay, thank you. The next question says, okay, it says 95 multiplied by 10. Just a moment, please. Sorry. The next question says multiply. Okay, I'll try similar numbers. if 95 was to be multiplied by 10, right? We know the alternate. That is easier. We know that if 95 is to be multiplied by 10, what we can do is 95 multiplied by 10. There is 1 0. 95 is multiplied by 1, that is 95. And there was 1 0, it should come out to be 950. Agreed? Very similarly, we can see this was a ones, this was a tens. So when the ones is multiplied, 0 is multiplied by 5 is 0, 0 multiplied by 9 is 0. But when we are multiplying by tens, we put a 0 since it's a 10. 1 multiplied by 5 was 5. 1 multiplied by 9 was 9. When we add them together, we get 950. The same answer as we got over here. Agreed? So for the number, yes, thank you, Sammy. For the numbers ending with a 0, we always do direct multiplication, okay? But now if I change the question and we say that it's not, okay, let's take a similar question. Question number 6, and we say multiply 95 is multiplied by 12. Okay, if we need to multiply 95 by 12, let's see what would be the answer. We can say that we know these were the ones and these were the tens. So when the first ones is 2 is multiplied by 5, we know 2 multiplied by 5 is 10. The unit, see, we know that 2 multiplied by 5 was 10, right? And in this case, this was ones and this becomes tens, right? There is 0 ones and 1 tens. So what we do is, if it becomes 2 multiplied by 5 was 10, then what we do? We put the unit under the unit and we take the tens over here. Okay, under tens. 2 multiplied by 9. 2, 2 multiplied by 9 is 18. 18 plus 1 is 19. Okay. Now what we do is we do the tens. And once we are multiplying the tens, we put a 0. 1 multiplied by 5 is 5. 1 multiplied by 9 is 9. So let's add them together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 9 plus 5 is, yes, perfect. Okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. 9 multiplied by 5 would be 9 multiplied by 5. Sorry, 9 plus 5 is 14. And we take 1 over here. 1, right? 1 plus 1 is 2. And 2 plus 9 is 11. So we can say 1140. Do we agree? It's okay. By the way, I understand that. Okay. Let's focus over here. Semi. Okay. Let's try our next question. The next question says multiply 24 is multiplied by 22. So we know that this is ones and this would be tens. The next question, what we want to do is question number 8. We'll look at a difference. We'll say multiply 26 multiplied by 22. Okay, we look at the different values. So in this case, when 2 is multiplied by 4, we know it becomes 8. 2 multiplied by 2 would be 4. When we multiply the tens, we put a 0. Since we are multiplying by a tens, we put a 0. 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. When we add these numbers together, 8 plus 0 is 8. In the tens, we have how many tens? 4 plus 8, 12 tens, right? 12, if I say 12 tens, right? Can I say 100, 12 multiplied by 10, that means 120. So can I say, I can break this into 100s and 2 tens, right? So what we do is 4 plus 8 is 12. That means we write down the tens and we carry the hundreds. 1 plus 4 is 5. That means 528 is the answer. Okay. Thank you. Okay. When we have the look, let's have the question. Look at question number 8. Just a small difference from question number 7. These were ones. These were tens. When the first unit is multiplied by the number, 2 multiplied by 6 is 12. That means there are 12 ones. 12 ones means 1 tens and 2 ones, right? So we write 2 ones and 1 tens. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. Similarly, when we multiply the tens, we put a 0. 2 multiplied by 6 would be 12. And we take a 1 over here, right? 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. When we add the numbers together, 2 plus 0 is 2. 7 plus 2 is 5 plus 2 is 7 and 5. That means 572 is your final answer. Okay. Shouldn't it? Yes. Thank you, Sami. Moving ahead, let's look at the next example. Should it be 27 or 72? Semi, I think you did a typing error. 572, right? It's not 527, right? 572. That was a typing error, right? Do we agree? Yes, thank you so much. Okay, let's see. Easy question. What they're saying is question number 9. They're saying multiply 11 is multiplied by 30. Rather than doing this way, we can say when 11 was multiplied by 30, there was 1 0. Agreed? That means when 11 was multiplied by 3, it becomes 11 multiplied by 3 is 33. And we simply put 1 0. 330 is the product of these numbers. Let's confirm 0, ones and tens. 0 multiplied by When 0 is multiplied by any number, 0 multiplied by 1 is 0, 0 multiplied by 1 is 0. When the tens is being multiplied, we remove the units. 3 multiplied by 1 is 3. 3 multiplied by 1 was 3 as well. That means 0 plus 0 is 0, 3, 3. So which one is more convenient? This is way more convenient. Why? Because it had a number that was ending with a 0. Okay. Let's multiply any number together that is the same number. Okay. Let's suppose if I would say in question number 10, multiply, let's suppose if the number is 25 is multiplied by 25. Okay. Let's see what the answer can be. If the same numbers are being multiplied, right? The same numbers when multiplied together are known as square numbers. Okay. Okay. If we need to multiply 25 is to be multiplied by 25. Okay. So what we can say is we have the ones, we have the tens. So the first one is multiplied with every 5 multiplied by 5 is 25. There would be 5 ones and 2 tens. 5 multiplied by 2 is 10 plus 2, 12. Agreed? Okay. When we multiply the tens with anything, we put a 0. 2 multiplied by 5 was 10. We carry a 1. 2 multiplied by 2 was 4 plus 1 is 5. When we are adding them together, 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 0 is 2. And 1 plus 5 is 6. Okay, so we say 25 multiplied by 25 is 625. Agreed? We also have another term for it. Okay, I'll use the term so that we will understand next time when we are doing similar question. Okay, if this was the answer, we can also say the square of 25 is 625. That means whenever we say the term square in multiplication, it means a number is multiplied by itself. Okay, let's have a look another question. Question number 11. If I would say find, using the similar statement, find the square of 26, right? Because I use the term over here, the square of this is this. So I'm trying to use the same statement. So whenever we hear the term square, that means this number will be multiplied by itself. That means 26 should be multiplied by 26. Okay, that's a little additional information I'm giving to you. Okay. Okay, so let's see what happens when 26 is multiplied by 26. 26. So we know this was ones and we know this was tens. So when 6 is multiplied by 6, we know it comes out to be 36. There are 6 ones, 3 tens. 6 multiplied by 2 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. When we multiply the tens, we put a 0. 2 multiplied by 6 is 12. We put a 1. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5, right? And when we add them together, we can say 6, 7, and 6. Okay. Therefore, the answer would be 676. So this is the square of 26. Okay. Agreed? 26 squared would be 676. So if ever in multiplication you would hear the term square, that means the number is being multiplied by itself twice. Thank you, Sami. Okay. Okay, let's do the next question, which is kind of easier. Question number 12 says, multiply 20 multiply by 34. So which is the easier way to do it? Can we simply say there is 1 0? Agreed? Can we say 2 multiplied by 34? So if we say 34 is multiplied by 2, 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 3 is 6. So can we write 68 with a 0? Because there was 1 0. Agreed? So 680 is the product of the two numbers. Okay? Okay. Yes, thank you, Fortuna. So we simply write this, or what we can say is, if 20 is to be multiplied by 34, the longer method, right? So what we can say is, we have ones and we have the tens. When the ones is multiplied by 4 multiplied by 0 is 0, 4 multiplied by 2 was 8. When we are multiplying the tens, we put a 0. 3 multiplied by 0 was 0, and 3 multiplied by 2 was 6. 0, 8, and 6. So whichever way you think is easier and more convenient for you, you can use either of these methods. But what I would recommend is, whenever you have a number ending with a 0, you do the easy working. Okay? Moving ahead to the next question. Let's see. Okay. If it says, question number 13, multiply, okay, 41 multiply by 12. So we know that this is ones, this was tens. So when the ones, 1 multiplied by 2 was 2, right? And 2 multiplied by 4 was 8. Agreed? Then we multiply the tens. We say this was a 0. 1 multiplied by 1 would be 1. And 1 multiplied by 4 was 4. When we add them together, this becomes 2, right? This becomes 9 and 4. So we can say when 41 was multiplied by 12, our answer came out to be 492. Okay. Okay, I'll give you an alternate to this. Might be a little tricky, but let's see. Okay, if I would say 41 is to be multiplied by 12, right? Agreed? If 41 is to be multiplied by 12, and we know that the number 12 can be written as 10 plus 2. Agreed? I'm giving you another way out for this, right? To make your life simpler. Some people would prefer the first method, some can prefer the second method, right? Over here I'm just explaining. So we have this number now, 41, that was supposed to be multiplied by 12. What we did was we break down the 12 into 10 plus 2, right? And they both are equal. 10 plus 2 can be written as, semi-focus on this, please. So now what I do is I multiply 41 by 10 and then I multiply 41 by 2, right? Because I broke down the 12 into two numbers. See, let's see. If I say 41 multiply by 10, and the second part was 41 multiply by 2. Since I was adding them together, I add them over here. This is easy, right? Because this is a number ending with a 0. That means this becomes 410 plus 41. Well, 2 multiplied by 1 is 2. 2 multiplied by 4 was 8. So when we add 410 and 82, just showing you an alternate. You're not bound to do it this way, just an alternate. 0 plus 2 is 2. 1 plus 8 was 9 and 4. So we can still say the answer comes out to be 492. What I'm trying to explain to you is we can break the numbers also. Okay? We can always break the numbers, but we cannot break both the numbers. We can always break one of the numbers at your level. Okay, we can do this question in an alternate way as well. Okay, let's say in question number 14, they're asking us multiply 31 is to be multiplied by 13. So we know that we have the ones and we have the tens, right? So let's see if these were the ones and these are the tens. So 3 multiplied by 1 is 3. 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. Then we have the ones. We put a 0. 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. And 1 multiplied by 3 was 3. When we add them together, 3 plus 0 is 3. 9 plus 1 is 10 tens, right? So we put the 0 in tens and we take 1 to the hundreds. 1 plus 3 is 4. So 31 multiplied by 13 would be 403. Okay. Let's have a look at more examples. Kind of easy, very easy. Can I have the answer to question number 15? It says multiply. Okay. It says 10 is multiplied by 75. 10 multiplied by 75 should be 75 multiplied by 10. Same. We have 75 is multiplied by 1 is 75. And we had 1 0. So you will simply put 1 0 over here. You don't have to do the long working. You can simply say it's 750, right? Because we had a number ending with a 0. Do we agree? Yes, very easy, right? But let's suppose if we have two numbers ending with a 0, okay? If I would change this question number 16, and if I would say, if both the numbers were ending with a 0, let's suppose 40 is to be multiplied by 30, right? Let's do it over here. Let's see if we need to multiply 40 is to be multiplied by 30, how we can do it. How many zeros we have? 1 0 and 2 0. That means we have two zeros. Agreed? Can we say 4 multiplied by 3? What is 4 multiplied by 3? That is 12. And how many zeros we had? We had 2 zeros, right? This would be our answer. Let's verify. Okay. Yes, perfect. We had 2 zeros. 4 multiplied by 3 was 12. And we put 2 zeros as it is. Now let's see over here through the long working. 0, ones and tens. So when we have 0 is multiplied by 0 is 0. 0 multiplied by 4 is 0. When we are multiplying the tens, okay, just a moment, please. When we are multiplying by the tens, that means 3 multiplied by 0. We put a 0. 3 multiplied by 0 is 0. And 3 multiplied by 4 was a 12. When we add them, 0, 0, 2, and 1. That means we have the same answer as 1200. So I would still say whenever we have a number ending with a 0, this is the easier way. Whenever we have a number ending with a 0, this is the easier way. But it does not make any difference if we have one number ending with a 0 or both the numbers are ending with a 0, right? Okay. Let's just do one or two more questions and then we will try to do the questions from the test. Okay. Okay. The next question says multiply 11 multiplied by 48. Okay. Question number 19. Question number 19 says multiply 11 multiplied by 48. So we have to do the long method. That means we can write either numbers. So we can write 48 multiplied by 11. Same thing. We have the ones. We have the tens. 1 multiplied by 8 would be, when 1 is multiplied by 8, we get an 8. 1 multiplied by 4, we get a 4. When tens is being multiplied, we'll put a 0 in the units. 1 multiplied by 8 is 8. 1 multiplied by 4 is 4. If we add them together, 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 8 is 12. 12 tens, that means we put 1 into the 100. 2 tens and 100. 1 plus 4 is 5. So we can say the answer comes out to be 528. Okay. Just one more question. Okay, let's do 20 and then we do the test. One more, Sami. Question number 20. Multiply. Okay. If it says 11 is multiplied by 32. Easy, same question. Similar. So we can write 11 is multiplied by 32. In the previous question, it was 11 multiplied by 48. I wrote 48 on top and 11 at the bottom, right? That does not make any difference, right? Yes, Fortuna, thank you. So we say that this was the ones, this is the tens, right? 2 multiplied by 1 would be 2. 2 multiplied by 1, that is 2. If when we do the tens, we put a 0 in the units. 3 multiplied by 1 would be 3. 3 multiplied by 1 would be 3. When we add them together, this becomes 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. So this should be 352. Okay, agreed? Thank you so much. Let's do the test. Few questions from the test. Just a moment, please. I need to go back. The 11:18. Okay. Chapter number 11. Lesson number 18. And let's open up the test. So we are trying to do some questions from the test. Okay. The question number 1 says, okay, very easy. The first question says multiply 36 by 10. Okay, very easy. What should be the answer? Option A or option B? Question number 1. We are doing the test, Semi. What should be the answer? "36 multiplied by 10." Right? So whenever we multiply a number by 10, what happens to the number? Yes, perfect. Option number A, that is 360. Thank you. Question number 2. 12 is being multiplied by 20. Yes, simple. You put a 0 at the end. Thank you. How about this? 12 multiplied by 20 should be just a moment. I'm copying the next question also. Semi, question number 2. What should be the answer? Option A or option B? No, it should be it cannot be option number A for question number 2. Why? This had to be 360, right? When it says 12 is multiplied by 20, how many zeros do we see? 1 0, right? 12 multiplied by 2 is 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. 2 multiplied by 1 is 2. And we simply put 1 0, right? For question number 2, the correct option, yes. Thank you. The correct option is B. Okay. Let's move ahead to the next. How about question number 3? 21 is to be multiplied by 34. The answer should be C. I can give you, okay, let's say there's a huge difference between the answers, right? 700 and 200, right? The numbers have a huge difference. Let's say if this number was 20 multiplied by 30, right? There are 2 zeros. Agreed? We have 2 zeros, and 2 multiplied by 3 was 6. That means if we are rounding off these numbers to these numbers, the answer would be 6. But if we would take the original number, then the answer should be more than 600, right? We're just trying to estimate. So 21 multiplied by 34. There is no 12 multiplied by 12, Semi. That is 12 multiplied by 2. Right. Okay, I'll show it to you for this question. 12 is multiplied by 20. 0 multiplied by 2 is 0. 0 multiplied by 1 is 0. We put a 0. 2 multiplied by 1 is 2. When we add them, 240, right? Okay. Yes, perfect. Question number 3 is part A. What I did was I did not solve the question. I estimated. I said if 21 is rounded off to 20 and 34 is rounded off to 30, it comes out to be 600. So which number is greater than 600? I said this number is greater than 600, right? Or we do the working. 1 multiplied by 4 is 4. 4 multiplied by 2 was 8. Since we are multiplying the tens now, we put a 0. 3 multiplied by 1 was 3. 3 multiplied by 2 was 6. Right? 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 3 is 11. 1, 7, 1, 4. Agreed? That is our final answer. Okay. Please do complete the remaining questions. How many questions do we have? We have 29 questions. Yes. Thank you so much, Fortuna. Thank you, Semi. Please do complete the remaining questions and best of luck. Have a nice day.